Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play and very early impressions for MEGARACER QUANTUMRUSH, a game released in early access on the Steam store yesterday, July 31st, 2025. It normally retails for $10, so it is budget priced. It's on a release sale 10% off, and I received a free Steam key through the Steam Curator Connect program to review this game, and I'm testing it out on the MetaQuest 3 using link cable on my RTX 3080. Now, I want to make clear I did turn off the music due to concerns with YouTube. Anytime there's any kind of license, any kind of music, it usually messes with my channel. So, only for that reason, I turned off the background music. And there's not a whole lot of settings available. You got smooth turning. I did notice, though, that the smooth turning changes every time I start, and it's pretty slow. This is the fastest speed, so it's pretty slow. There's 3 different racing characters you can choose. 3 different racing vehicles, racing carts. By the way, you can play online multiplayer with friends. And there's some comfort settings. Obviously, I don't need any vignette or tunnel effects, so I turn them all off or low. Let's go ahead and let's just race. So this is basically one big map, and around the map there are several different attractions. So let's go ahead. Let's just go to this one in the middle. So we're in the middle of the city here, and this is a very simple arcade kart racer. It's pure arcade, pure kart racing. You don't really need to brake around corners. And basically, you just grab the steering wheel. By the way, there's an easy way to adjust. You do notice some issues. This is an early access release. And I don't know if you can see this on desktop view, but in VR, I see shadows coming in and out. So there's some issues here. Like I said, I did turn off the music. Like I said, the map is pretty big though. So let's go ahead and let's just drive around. And as you drive around, you'll encounter different events. There's Capture the Crown. Now, this is probably the most disappointing one. So there is Quick Match, which online racers, or you can play solo. Let's play solo just so I can show you how sad this Capture the Crown is. Solo play. So this is solo play, and this was the first event I played, and that was after the tutorial, and I was very disappointed, but there's basically no gameplay here. So obviously this is meant for online multiplayer. So if you have a group of friends who all want to buy this game, this would be perfect for them. The problem is that I believe this racer is meant for kids. I don't think it's meant for adults. So you see there's single player, there's actually no real gameplay. There's just not gameplay here. So this is very disappointing playing this single player. I thought there would be like AI bots or something, but there's nothing. Keep in mind, this is early access. I don't know if the plan is to eventually bring AI bots to this challenge. Now, there are bots for the races. So, for the races, you can play single player, but this mode, for whatever, which is like the most central mode, the one you probably do first, is not. So, that's probably not a smart move by the developer. Like I said, it sets a very bad first impression. Especially if you're playing this game solo. Let's go down the map. But even with a group of friends, I would say this map is pretty small. I would imagine what happens, and this is just speculation on my part because I'm playing single player, but I would assume Capture the Crown is just basically ramming into the person with the crown, and that's how you would steal their crown, and then you get away, and then they chase you, and you just do that until the timer runs out, and whoever had the crown for the longest amount of time wins. I'm assuming that's what this kind of racing is, but Obviously, it doesn't work single player because you're basically on your own solo. It's impossible to lose this challenge. But it's also quite boring. It's a bad first impression. So I would tell the developer, you probably want to make clear that this is multiplayer only currently, so that a single player person like myself doesn't click on this. And you probably want to put it somewhere on the map where it's just more obvious. And it isn't the first thing that they see, so they have to go around driving around the city looking for other challenges because they're here. So yeah, there's like I said, there's no gameplay here. There's none. There it is. Race over. We won. We didn't do anything special. Yeah, that was a bad first impression. Bad first impression. Now, I will say that overall, I have not been impressed with this game, but I'm also not the target audience. I believe this arcade kart racer is meant for kids, and it's it's one of those games where you don't even have to brake to the corners. Not that the corners are like not like there's no challenge to them, but especially as someone who's done other racing games, it's very little challenge. It's not enough challenge. Let's put it that way, especially for an experienced racer like myself. And again, I'm not saying I'm a veteran racer. I'm not saying I'm a good racer, but obviously I've played other racers in VR. So the positive I can say about this game is that it's very simple. I can give it credit for being very simple, easy to get into. If you have small children and you have VR and you're okay with them playing VR, this might be, good for my first racer in VR. Now, I cannot say, are they going to experience motion sickness or nausea? That I don't know. I can't answer that question. Obviously, I'm an experienced VR veteran, so I don't experience nausea. That makes me probably the worst person to talk to about VR nausea, since I've never experienced it. Okay, let's do this one. Oh, let's do this one. So this is a different kind of racing here. So here you just want to go as fast as possible. Now I have to be honest, I don't know how to fully escape. I know we're going to get caught before 500 meters, but I don't know exactly why. What did we do wrong? Weren't we racing as fast as possible? Now, maybe my kart is just not fast enough. I don't know, but you saw the problem with that. Again, that's perfect for a very young child. But someone like me, they're going to wonder, what is this? What was that? I know I didn't do anything wrong. I went as fast as I could and in one direction away from the spot I wanted to. But I don't understand why I didn't win. I was basically going in a straight line, full speed, and yet that wasn't fast enough. The only thing I can imagine is that you're supposed to have a even faster kart than the one I have currently, but I don't see how you would get an upgrade. Again, this is early access. Maybe those are things that are planned later on, but for right now, it just seems like you lose. Or at least you can't get first place. You can get 2 stars, but you can't get 3 stars. And I'm not sure exactly why. So basically, this is the game. You drive around and you look for challenges that you might run into. What happened there? Now you can easily reset your vehicle like so. You just press the button, the Y button. So B button is for recentering, and Y button is for resetting your kart. Let's try to find a race if we can, but I'll be honest, it's not exactly easy to do so. The map isn't very helpful. Now I do see like sometimes I will see like there's a gold bar. I don't know if you see it, but there's like a gold line back there. I think we're gonna go. Oh, there's a delivery. Let's do this one. Dangerous delivery, dangerous crossing. Nope. We have to do solo play. So there is online multiplayer, but keep in mind, you probably need a group of friends because I doubt you're going to run into 5 other strangers playing this game, wanting to do the same race. I think that might be enough for delivery. I don't know. We might have trouble seeing. I think that's all we can do now. How do we deliver? I have no idea. Do we just go to the other side? Is this just like playing Frogger? Oh, okay. It's just like playing Frogger. So you just have to cross the street. Okay. This is weird. But again, like I said, I think this is targeted for kids, and they might find it more appealing than I am. I have, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not really enjoying my time with this game. I played like 40 minutes earlier, and if I'm being honest, I kind of wanted to stop playing after about 20-30 minutes, which usually means it's not a game for me. So then I ask, is this something that other people might enjoy? And, I could see that. I could see children possibly enjoying this game more than I do. And when I play a game that's obviously not targeted towards me, but targeted towards children, I really have a tough time deciding whether that's a game that I should give a positive or negative recommendation. So rather than do that, especially in this case where I have some issues with the gameplay. Some of the gameplay has been buggy. Okay. And due to that, I'm not sure if I can just give a recommendation that's really good. I don't want to give this game a negative recommendation because it is budget price. It's only $10. Yeah, we're not going to get another delivery. But again, we were we're playing solo play, but it's impossible for you to lose. I don't know. And then if you do online multiplayer, there's not enough other players. So I think for this game, you'd have to have a kid who plays VR with a friend of theirs that plays VR. So another kid that plays VR, whether that's your own kid or a neighbor's kid or a relative's kid, and then you can set up a play VR date for them, and they can play together racing. They might enjoy it, but I can't recommend this game. There's just too many issues, and I don't know. I think kids might have trouble actually locating these different racing events because they're difficult to locate. They're not as easy to locate as they should be. I think finding these games is too difficult. Like I see an event over there. Let's hopefully get into a race. I really want to show off a race. I don't want to show these gimmick mini game race, these gimmick mini racing games, mini game racing, mini games involving vehicles. that's what I guess that's what we should call it. Hopefully that's a race up ahead over there, because I really want to get into a race so I can show off the racing for this game. It's very simple. It definitely might be perfect for my first kart racer, maybe, possibly. But and like I said, I don't want to give a negative review and just, you know, trash the game. Or, you know, it is, like I said, it is budget price, so you know, we have to keep our expectation, right? We can't play Capture the Crown now. We've already done that. We've already done that. Let's try to find a race. Like I said, I wish it was easier to find. Like, I really feel like I'm just driving blindly trying to find an event. Here's another event. Hopefully this is the racing. Hopefully this is the racing event. Rapid race. Yes, it's the racing event, I think. Solo play. Start. Skyway Sprint. Yeah, I think it's the racing event for sure. Okay, finally, a racing event. So I'm going to show the racing event again. It's super simple. I have a hard time seeing any adult enjoying this, because it is very basic. Again, you are using motion controls to steer the vehicle. And you don't have to brake at all. Like for that, I did not have to brake at all. So it's just basically doing the turn with your motion controls. It's really not that difficult. You can brake and do the turn cautiously if you want, but you don't have to. If you have enough skill, you don't have to do it. Which I would imagine all but little kids could do that without braking. So again, I'm not saying I'm very skilled. I'm just saying it's very easy for me. And basically, you go over the little speed. I was just saying how it was too simple. I was just saying how it was too simple, and I hit the bumper. I may have done that turn previous to that a little too fast and lost a little bit of control. There we go. I think we're near the end of the race. Again, this is only a $10 racing game, so we have very low standards for this. And, you know, with it only costing $10, you might be able to buy this for all your children. And, you know, keep them occupied for an hour or two while mommy and daddy do stuff together in peace and with some peace and quiet, you know. So it might be worth it just for that. But the problem is, I don't know, I think the UI might be too complicated for young kids. They'll have to know to click solo play or click the online multiplayer, but you know, let me check. Is this for private lobbies only? You know what? I don't know if it's... I assume they're private lobbies. I assume they're not just... You can't just join strangers. But, you know, actually, I'm not sure. So that would be my concern. You know, if it is not a private lobby, how... you know, you definitely don't want strangers joining your kids' online multiplayer. So, you know, let me check on that. I'll check on that right now. Make sure this is a safe game for kids. So, hold on. Let's double check. But for adults, I really could not recommend this. I can't see any adult enjoying this. There's really no challenge to the racing. Let's try to do an online multiplayer. Let's see what happens. Quick match. You know what? I don't think you can control who's on the race. Yeah, it's not a private lobby. Anybody can join that's online and playing this game. Well, that's not really ideal. But here's the problem. Like I said, some of the mini games are not that fun because you can't play them solo because you're just playing with yourself. So that's no fun. Some of the mini games I found were very buggy. There was one with a soccer ball that you're supposed to drive and move the soccer ball near the goal. But when I hit the soccer ball, it actually went backwards versus going towards the goal. So that was buggy. The UI, again, not as smooth and polished, especially if kids are getting involved. You would really need a private lobby for kids too, you know, so you can make sure your kids are safe while they're playing this game. Because otherwise, any online stranger with this game can be like me right now and just trying to find a random game to join. But the odds of a stranger joining when there's so many different races is pretty low, though. And part of the problem is that you would need to coordinate them somehow. I don't know how you would coordinate a group of online people to all be doing the same race at the same time and trying to join the same race at the same time to do online multiplayer. So I don't really know how this online multiplayer works. Maybe they how are they talking to each other? You know, before the race. Let's get out of here. Let's no. There was a person called Critical DPS that raced us earlier. Okay. Let's. Can we go back to the main menu? What happened? Oh. Let's go to the lobby. So, okay, there is a lobby. Okay, there is a lobby. Wait, no. This is not a lobby. How would you get... Maybe if you invite your friends from here, maybe they could all... And by the way, I've already done all my daily missions, which didn't take very long. Wait, how would you get people... No, I don't know how this... How would people join? Oh, look, there's racers I can unlock. Okay, and there's clothes. There's racing items. Oh, that's too much. You don't own enough. Okay, there's different. Okay, I don't have enough. Okay. So there are items you can buy, but you earn them in-game by just doing the different challenges. That's fine. But yeah, I don't know how you would have an online lobby to decide what race to do. I don't know how you're communicating with each other. I guess you can just use a phone while you're trying to set it up. I don't know how you would do this. Because I think the chances of everyone going to the same race and waiting online is very low. You'd have to tell other people, "Hey, go to this race and join the online while we wait for it to fill up." I really don't know how this online multiplayer works for this game. I don't know how you would invite friends. I'm very confused by that. And if I'm confused, I can imagine little kids and their parents would be confused as well. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Okay, well, like I said, I'm going to give this game a question mark out of 10 because I have questions about how exactly it works. But keep in mind, it is budget price. That's really the only reason I'm not giving this a thumbs down. For my sake, I would say I don't enjoy this game and I don't look forward to playing it ever again. So I would never play this game again. Performance is not the best. I've seen the frame rate drops. It goes from 90 frames per second to 45 frames per second. So this game with a simple graphic, oh man, wow, the frame rate drops. So there's constant frame rate drops, even here without racing, which is not good. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give this game the benefit of the doubt and give it a neutral recommendation, really a question mark out of 10 versus saying a 5 out of 10. But if I'm being honest, I'm leaning towards a negative dumbing it down review. Because of performance issues, because of some of the buggy gameplay. Like I said, there's a game mode where I played where you're supposed to push a soccer ball, and the soccer ball went behind me instead of going forward towards the goal when I hit it, going forward. Some of the game modes where it says play single player, but you play it by yourself and you find out that there's no gameplay if you play it by yourself. There's not even bots to play against. And the racing, like I said, it's super simple. It's definitely not geared for adults. It's definitely for kids. And like I said, since I'm not a kid, I don't know if this is something that they would enjoy. For $10, it's pretty cheap. It has colorful graphics. They might enjoy driving around the city and racing against other kids. If you could somehow set it up with all the kids together, I don't know if that's possible or how that would happen. So rather than just give it an outright negative review, I'm going to give it a question mark out of 10 and say that I don't know the answer to those questions, but you might want to find out the answers before buying this game. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my Let's Play Early Impressions. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye. And yeah, I'm never playing this game again. Goodbye.